Welcome back to the Success Publishing Videocast. My name is Jessica Soto, and I am here with one of our amazing co-authors today, Adrien Fouillard. He is an author of Journey to Success, and we are excited to shine some light on some of our amazing authors here on this videocast. So welcome to the podcast, Adrien.
Thank you very much, Jessica. It's a great pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, you too. It's nice to officially meet you face to face after speaking during your author journey.
You bet. And after you helping me out this much here, it's sure nice to put a face to the name, and very great meeting you.
Happy to do that. So just before we fully get started, can you give us like the cliff notes on where you are in the world and who you are?
Yeah, so I guess I'm in my name is Adrien Fouillard. I'm in Devon, Alberta, which is just a little southwest of Edmonton, just a small community, population, I think it's 6,500 now, Jessica. Wow. And we moved here from Manitoba in 1999. And just through family, that the reason we had moved here was for my wife to kind of come and work for my brother's new company. So it opened a whole new world for us coming to Alberta, and there was no turning back. So it's been great. And as far as I started as basically in Alberta here. I just started as a hydraulics technician, also just following my path from the Navy. As a Naval Weapons Technician, I came in and took one discipline with me, and hydraulics was it. We had done a little bit of everything, mechanical, electronics, electrical, and all that good stuff. But so that's where this took me as far as work-wise. And there's just so many things that have happened since then. I guess let me step back a little bit. Jessica, I have three boys. Christian is 28 today. Nathaniel is 26, and my youngest one is 18. And my wife's name is Stacy, and I met her when I was in Victoria, when I was in the Navy. So I guess where I'm at today is really adding value to my family, things that I had kind of missed along the way at certain periods of time. And I think that now today, where I'm at is trying to build relationships with my family even better than I had. And my immediate family also, or my, my siblings, and just trying to build those relationships even better than I had. We always had great relationships, but just in the past 5 years, and I know that's probably coming up as a question later, but in the past 5 years, I've been went down a path where I had to unlearn a lot of things to learn new things, and to progress with new realities in my life that I want to happen for my family and for other people around me, not just myself and my family, but to be able to add value to other people also. So yeah, it's I guess, to make a long story short, is the book that I wrote just shared a little bit of a story, and with Courageous Vulnerability, just shared where I was at and how I came out of it, and just kind of each story. And I just rolled that through. It was very challenging because it was just but very rewarding in a way, because I had never done that before. And thanks to you guys helping me do this and making me realize that, hey, I can do this again. So I'm excited about doing this again. I know that's kind of rolling into another question probably, but
no,
I hope that kind of answers. Yeah, I hope that kind of answers a little bit of the first question. But
yeah, can you show off that book of yours that has brought all this about? That's awesome. What did it feel like to get a book in the mail with you on it and your words in it?
It was a little surreal. To be honest with you, I never dreamt of actually realizing myself writing a book. And I have aspirations of continuing on with, this was my first chapter. And it's been great working with you guys on this. And now I think it opens up a whole new realm of, now what's the next step and what do I want to write about? And I have ideas about what I want to write about next. And it's not going to be about me at all. It's going to be more about a story from what my parents went through, and they never got to write their story. So I want to try to work on something with the family to try and put something together for that.
That's beautiful.
So, yeah.
I love hearing from our authors, because so many times I never even thought I could actually be an author. Now that I am, it's like you said, open up this door to just like, now I want to write about everything and write a million books of all these ideas.
You bet.
That's so cool.
You bet.
So you gave us a little hint of your story and your background, but can you give us a little bit more of what that journey, how it brought you to becoming an author?
Yeah. Like I will be honest with you, that was not something at the beginning of my journey that I even put much thought into. I like I mentioned, in the last 5 years, I think was instrumental, the people I had met that were a new influence in my life for the positive, and helped me change my habits and helped me realize the important values that I would have in my life. And that is where I started thinking about the book, Jessica, because I always hear with the new influences that I've earned about basically telling our story, and not losing that, and not losing the history of your story, and being able to pass it on. And as insignificant as it was, my story is my story. It's not necessarily an amazing story that that anyone looking into it can say, oh boy, that person's done something great. Not really. It's all the little things that people do along the way that you can share that. And I think that's what makes a great story. And like a lot of the other stories in the book are just so amazing. But I guess getting back to your question is, yeah, that's what made me start thinking about it. And I never really threw it around, even at them, at the friends of mine, and that about writing a book. It was more, coming into contact with Matt Morris, and also that kind of inspired a little bit of a dream there. And that was amazing, having a team that was able to help me with that. And before that, I never really put everything together. So, so that's awesome. Yeah.
I love to hear that. So without giving your whole story away, can you tell us a little bit about the struggles, like what the struggle was, the before that brought you to where you are now? Because you said in the past, like about 5 years ago, you came into this influence of other people that's really been a positive impact. So what was the struggle that brought you to the last 5 years? Yeah,
that makes sense. I think it was just patterns in the past of, I know I shared a little bit of it in my story. Is my wife and I had made decisions along the way that would benefit our family in the long run. And one was when I was in the Navy I met my wife when I was in the Navy. I started as a single in the Navy, and when I met my wife, it was great embarking on a journey together. But all of a sudden we saw, oh my God, I'm always gone. I'm sailing. I'm always away from my family, taking away those values that we held dear to our hearts. And also, the numbing that went on with that didn't help us progress in our relationship. But nonetheless, we made it through, and 28.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. 28 years married.
Awesome.
to a great woman and with beautiful kids. And I guess coming into it, you know, there was alcoholism there. There was influences from things that pulled me to where I didn't want to go, where my heart didn't want to go. And I knew that, but I cared more about what people thought around me than what I should be, the great decisions I should be making. So I tended to go that way more than the right path at times. And wasn't always bad. You know, I did make some good decisions, but I did share more vulnerabilities in my story and not, you know, not a lot of the highlights or the you know, more of how I came out of it, I guess. But yeah, coming out of it, and that's where we met the influences. And when I finally found people that lived the life that I wanted with values, I really latched onto that because I didn't know that was even possible. And within a networking industry, many things are possible now, especially with today's information age and today's, and Matt talks about it very well, is we have a lot at our fingertips, but let's use the tools. And I think that's where I really latched on 5 years ago to make that transition from the old me, unlearn a whole bunch of new things, Jessica, and come into a whole new realm where I can progressively learn every day to make myself better tomorrow. And that is where I guess the transition came in, is new mentors, new coaches, new influences. And that's where it transitioned from the old to the new. So, and I think that's where it started stemming. Things started going in my mind about writing a book, but never realizing that until I actually met Matt online, and he sparked that in me. So
yeah, well, I mean, it's the saying is true. You are the 5 people that you surround yourself with most.
You bet.
You were even saying before you knew that you wanted something different, but you were surrounded by these old patterns, so that's what you kept doing. And then once you change that up, it opens up a whole new world.
So true. There is a quote that says, you know, you're going to be in the next 5 years based on the types of association you have and the types of books you read. Not just any books, but the types of books, right? And I strongly believe that now today. I didn't know that before, and those are all new revelations, like 5 years ago, right? So yeah, it's been great.
Well, yeah, speaking of the books you read too, you know, you'll have people reading your book. You've already had people reading your book and your story. And you said earlier that, you know, this is just your story. This is one small story, but people will be reading it. What do you hope they're going to get out of it, and hope that it will spread?
Yeah. Well, that is a great question. I just, I hope when they read it, you know, and I know even if it was just to impact one person's life, or, you know, I'm hoping more, but even if there's someone that can relate to me with some of the struggles that I went through, and more in just myself, it was all struggles. It wasn't struggles like, it wasn't third world struggles. Here, this is world struggles, first world struggles that I imparted on myself, more or less. I had a great family. I'll admit I was a little bit entitled at times, coming from a big family, a large family of 13. So, wow. Yeah, so I was the second youngest boy of 8, and then second youngest in the family. I guess where I'm going with this is, I think that, I lost my train of thought, and I apologize, but I guess, you know, I just feel like so grateful for everything I had in my life. Now I look back on it, but I was a little brat at times, and I got myself in situations that didn't call for that. Like I didn't. There was no justification why I did the things I did. I just went down those paths because of influences were stronger than me. I was more of a follower. And I'd like to say that now, because of all the transition that I've done in the last number of years, and growing through all my life too, not forgetting before the last 5 years of everything I had gone through. It's all experiences that someone can put in their back pocket and learn from it. The only thing different of the last 5 years is the influences that were able to help me put all that together and throw away what I don't need and keep what I do need, and move forward with that. So I hope that answers the question. But
yeah, that's awesome. I mean, any story, doesn't matter where we came from. It could be, you know, the elite to third world countries. We all have something that we've been through, and that can help others realize, oh,
right,
connect with that. And it doesn't always have to be someone who's on the same level as us either. So
exactly. And you know, you read other stories too, and we're in a comparison game sometimes, and we should never be. And that's what I've learned in the last few years is, don't compare to what other people have. The only person you compare to is yourself, from the previous day to tomorrow, and to the next day. And if you've gotten that little bit better the next day, I think that's where growth happens, and that's where you see the results of growth, is when you do that. And I'm hoping that you know, we always say, if I can do it, anyone can. And we open up things for anyone, and hope for anyone in the world when we share our little story, because we let them know that, hey, if that guy can share his story, I can share mine too. And it makes things possible. And again, I'm relating back to Matt, but he's such a phenomenal leader and phenomenal storyteller, and it's just amazing how many lives he has influenced so far. Hence all these success authors that you guys have helped with the team. So, but
yeah. And then, so now that you've been an author, because you got published at least a couple of months ago now, how has stepping into that identity and the authority of being an author, how has that changed how you feel about yourself?
I think I try to cap myself a bit, because I've had a lot of family members come up to me, and some I didn't even tell about the story, but in a small town in Manitoba, everyone, once one person knows, everybody knows. and it's been great in that way. And I was a little bit, you know, there's always that little element of fear when you're doing something like this, of, should I be letting these people know, or should I be, you know, do I really want to share that vulnerability with all the people that have known me since I was in diapers? And, you know, and you know, they know me, the old me, they don't know the new me. And I think I shocked a lot of people, and I think in a good way, but I think people were surprised. And it does kind of open new realms in, now I crossed that barrier. If I can do that with the people that know me best, I can do anything now. And it was a little intimidating, though, to being able to let it out, and you know, but I'm excited to see what the future brings, because I do want to keep writing.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
I love hearing that. What was the best surprise from this experience? What was something that kind of caught you off guard?
I guess just the realization that I was actually doing it. It's like sometimes I go to sleep at night thinking, like, am I really doing this? I'm serious. It wasn't anything major. It wasn't a big surprise. But I'd even talk to my wife about it, and I'd say, like I feel like I'm going down a road that I never thought I'd travel. Like, I never thought I'd let out you call it courageous vulnerability from Brené Brown. I never thought I'd share my weakest moments with people that I I cared what they thought more, and a little bit more of the macho type image and the status quo and the, you know, especially family members, siblings, my brothers, and more my brothers. I was very intimidated by what they would think. And I guess it kind of surprised me that I actually went down and I completed it. And I went down that road and I was shaking my head sometimes thinking, what am I doing? You know, but it was great because you know, anything out of your comfort zone is probably going to bring you results in the end. But if you stay what you're comfortable with, there's going to be no change. And I think that's what I really embraced. But I guess the best surprise was just thinking, wow, like, am I really doing this? You know, and am I going to complete it? And I ended up completing it. Not that I'm one to not complete things, but like, you know, at times I wondered, like, am I doing the right thing? And it was a little, yeah, but that was the best thing is, you bet. But that was the best surprise, I think, is just realizing, wow, I've done it. Like I went through that, and it's amazing. I'm still getting a lot of phone calls now from people that are, some were a little angry at me, not angry, but a little perturbed with me, because they said, why didn't you tell me you wrote a story? Because I didn't tell everyone. I didn't go, they said, you know, I'm your own brother and you didn't tell me you did this. And, you know, and I was a little intimidated, and it kind of caught me off guard. They heard through the grapevine or on some instances. So, but yeah, so that's what surprised me the most, I guess.
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah. I love watching all of our authors, including you, just like really get to that point of, oh, this is really happening. And then, whoa, look at this book in my hand, and what you guys do with it is amazing. It's great.
Well, and we couldn't have done it without you guys and your team. So bringing all the great gratitude towards, you know, people that have helped us do this. And I want to thank you guys very much for making this possible.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And then, so what, now that you're an author and you're continuing on your growth journey, what's next for you?
Well, like I mentioned, you know, I'm really pursuing those influences that I had earned a few years ago. I'm trying to make an impact by helping change one life at a time, open doors for people through the networking industry, more not focusing on the I guess the how can you call it, like, there's a lot of opportunities out there that are focusing on one thing and more the economical side of things. And what I'm talking about is, you know, a mentor in life that can help guide us through those instances where we might be blocked in being able to be coached to building an asset or to be building a great life for ourselves. They're the ones that come into your personal life, help you, you know, go through those struggles and normalize those struggles. And that's what has happened to me in the last 5 years. And I want to do that for other people now. I want to pay it forward so that I can impact people's lives, not just economically, but in their marriages, in their values, and discovering their values, and discovering who they are and where they want to go in life. And yeah, so that has been really on the forefront of my mind. So I'm pursuing those influences more so I can learn more and grow more and be the best I can be. And I know it sounds all so, you know, fluffy and everything, but that is really where I'm going nowadays. And I really love it. You can say, okay, well, Adrien, you've become soft. You used to be this tough, hard guy before. And yeah, well, I wanted to let that guy behind now. You know, I want to leave that guy behind, and I want to go what really matters most. And that's trying to take my eyes off myself. I have a lot of improvement there to work on, but to be able to take my eyes off myself and put them on others, because that's what I'm seeing from the people that are helping me, you know, and they've been very instrumental in myself quitting drinking, very instrumental in myself prizing my family the most, and helping people around me achieve success in their lives also. And it's not myself, I'm just a conduit, and having them help me do that for other people. So that's where I'm really going, Jessica. And as far as a book, I'm thinking of touching base with, I have talked to a couple of family members. I want to bring life to my parents' story. My mom and dad raised 13 kids, same family, no twins, so it was all just one after the other, and very close in age. And they had a dairy farm, and they worked very hard. My father was in the World War II. I want to bring those stories back for them. It's going to be a big journey, and I think I'll need a lot of help from my family and good friends of theirs. So that could be a long time before I get that story written, but I think now that's where I want to go, is start working on that. So
that's awesome.
Really,
well, let me know when that comes to fruition, because I would love to read that. That
is awesome. I definitely will let you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for giving me some of your time today. I know we all have so many things going on, but it's nice to connect and hear where this journey has taken you. So it was great doing that today. And
well, thank you very much, Jessica. Thank you for your time.
Yeah,
very valuable also. So yeah, I really appreciate everything you guys have done. And like I say, it is surreal to even be on this call with you. And I thank you guys all very much.
You're welcome. And again, for all of our watchers and listeners, you can find Adrien on Amazon.com, Journey to Success with Adrien Fouillard. And congratulations again.